When I was a kid growing up, I bought into Power Rangers hook, line, and sinker. I never noticed that there was Japanese versus American footage. I never noticed that Tommy's shield went to cloth in the American footage. To me, it was just Power Rangers, and like a lot of people, I kind of freaked out when Tommy was revealed as the White Ranger. Hey, Corey Place, thank you so much for asking for this video. I have kind of had a theory on it, but I didn't really think about making a video until you said something, so thank you. Hey guys, my name is Casey. I love talking about Power Rangers. I'm honestly so blown away that anybody's even watching these. Every person who makes a comment, I just get excited because I love talking about Power Rangers. Thank you. Keep commenting and subscribing. Back in the 90s, we didn't have the internet readily available, and I had no idea that there was actually a show in Japan called Super Sentai, and I was shocked when I found out that the White Ranger actually came from a different season of Super Sentai. Why were these suits abandoned, and what does that mean to the live-action universe of Power Rangers? Super Megaforce really caused a rift in the fandom when they used Sentai footage of former teams that were never Rangers. These were either unused or dated back before the original 1993 Power Rangers, but this is all covered with a blanket statement by Gosei. He says these are Rangers never seen on Earth. The idea of alien or intergalactic Rangers is nothing new. Most recently, Dino Fury's Zato and Ion come from Rafcon, Ninja Steel's Mick from the Lion Galaxy, Xenowing's home planet from Dino Charge is never revealed, Super Megaforce's Orion is from Andrasia, Operation Overdrive's Tyzon is from Curia, SPD's Anubis Doggy Kruger from Sirius, Cat Mank's planet is never revealed. Ninja Storm didn't have an alien Ranger, but Shane was aided by Skyla's transfer of power. She was a Carmenian. Time Force's Trip Regis is from Exebria. Lost Galaxy's Maya is from Miranoi. If you consider the Magna Defender a Power Ranger, he is from an unknown gray planet. Corone, along with the Space Rangers Andros and Shane, are from KO-35. Turbo's Phantom Ranger comes from Zordon's home planet of Eltar. Demetria is from Inquirius. And there is reason to believe that she probably mentored other Rangers. One reason is her friendship with Visceron, an alien warrior. She has some connection with heroes on her planet. That's why Zordon would feel comfortable leaving them with her as a mentor. Zeo's Trey of Triforia, and of course the alien Rangers from Aquitar. If you dive into the Boom Studio comics, writers have used unseen Sentai seasons for backstories, which is a really cool idea. In the comic The Psychopath, they feature a backstory to the Green Psycho Ranger which shows the Supersonic Ranger team from Exebria. This is the home planet of Trip Regis, the Time Force Ranger. The Supersonic Rangers come from a Sentai season that predates Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They added a 6th Ranger to this team even though the original only had 5. In fact, the season used for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was the first to ever have a 6th Ranger. It was an editing mistake, but the blue and pink Supersonic Rangers are seen in the background of the legendary battle. The Dragon Blitz Rangers have no real backstory known at this point. They have the power of the dragon. I'm pulling at strings, but it could potentially be a Ranger team from the Dragon Empire where Rita is from, which is an idea from the fan film Zordon of Eltar. The Prison Rangers are seen in a one-shot comic, Unlimited Heir to Darkness. A young Astronema hunts them down. Her goal is for them to give her the whereabouts of Zordon. This is a little hard to place on the timeline. This is before Power Rangers in space, so it either has to mean that Zordon was on Earth or it was during Turbo. I'm not sure what Astronema's age was at this point. Astronema thought her final strike would kill them, although heavily wounded, they aren't defeated yet. The Pink Ranger distracts her while the Red, Blue, and Yellow Rangers escape. Astronema strikes the Green Ranger, shattering through his helmet, and leaves the Pink Ranger to die. A lot of people just say this team is dead. I'd like to think they aren't dead, but there is some small evidence that might say they are. But it's kind of poetic that the 2 Rangers that didn't escape are the Pink and Green. Green foreshadowing the Green Psycho Ranger that considers himself family to Astronema through Dark Spectre, and Pink, of course, referring to Astronema eventually changing to Corone and becoming the Pink Lost Galaxy Ranger. The Lightning Rangers have no backstory that has been uncovered yet. It will be interesting if Boom Comics does something with them. With the power of lightning being used by the Mystic Force Yellow Ranger, it would be interesting if they were another team that uses magic in some way, But again, there isn't any evidence of that. I have a whole video that talks about a fan theory that ties in Mystic Force to a Saban live-action show called Mystic Knights of Tir na Nog. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The Battalion Rangers were never actually seen in a morph in Super Megaforce. The only thing that's seen is Troy using their ki to power a single attack in the Megazord. But the crazy part about this team is that they were adapted onto American television before Power Rangers. I am honestly so surprised I never learned about this, but from 1981 to 1988, the USA Television Network had a variety comedy show called Night Flight. Throughout 1987 to 1988, they aired 6 episodes of an English-dubbed parody of the Super Sentai Dynaman show. The Sentai show aired from 1983 to 1984. It's crazy that 5 years later, Saban would create Power Rangers after the same Japanese series, but make billions off of it. The creator of Night Flight, Stuart Shapiro, had to feel like he missed a huge opportunity. All 6, plus a 7th unaired episode, is available on YouTube currently. Honestly, I couldn't get very far into them, but if it's up your alley as far as comedy goes, go for it. But the Battalion Rangers currently have no information about them, and without even a morph, it's really hard to theorize any sort of connection or any idea. The Sentai show was originally supposed to be a baseball theme, but it was thought to be uncool, so they changed it to Dynaman, meaning dynamite. But the suits still give a baseball vibe to them. And of course, the Squadron Rangers. The only real evidence is that they are seen in some background shots of the legendary battle. But I, like a lot of people, were shocked to find out that Megaforce wasn't the first season to reference these teams. In Power Rangers Dino Thunder's episode Bully for Ethan, Dr. Oliver has a large amount of references to these teams never seen on Earth. He does have items with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Lightning Bolt on it, Lost Galaxy's belt emblem on them, and Lightspeed Rescue's emblem. But there are other teams referenced. There are folder bins with the Blitz Rangers emblem, Lightning Rangers emblem, a drawer with the Squadron Rangers emblem on it. There are folders set aside that look like they are being thrown away.
Just put it over there in that trash pile.
Okay.
It has the Supersonic and Prism Rangers emblems on them. Now, with the Supersonic Rangers all being killed in the comics, it would make sense that the Prism Rangers team is also destroyed, and that's why he's throwing this out. But like most television shows, if you don't see an actual death, they are definitely still alive. With the 3 Prism Rangers escaping, they would have come back and saved the others, or the Phantom Ranger could have showed up to save them, but judging from this, it seems Tommy believes they aren't alive anymore. But there are Ranger teams on there that were not seen on Megaforce. There's a folder bin with the logo from Live Man, drawer with an emblem from Goggle 5. Maybe these will be referenced down the road with the comics. Now the question is, how in the world does Tommy have this? Well, it would make perfect sense when you jump into Ahmet's brainchild, Hexagon. Ahmet is not a giant name in Power Rangers, but he did some extremely important work. He was an assistant story editor in 15 episodes of Power Rangers Time Force, definitely one of the top Power Rangers seasons of all time, and he was the head story editor on 40 episodes of Power Rangers Wild Force. He wrote 3 episodes in the Wild Force season, both parts of Reinforcements from the Future. Oh yeah, and a little episode called Forever Red. Putting together the most legendary team-up in Power Rangers history is a lot in only 20 minutes. Super Megaforce couldn't pull this off with a positive review. So as you can see, Amit was someone who really knew how to tell a story and gives the fans what they want. It was a shame because with the 3 episodes he wrote, he set up the Hexagon story. Tommy being sort of ambiguously retired, but being connected to all these Rangers he'd never met on screen, Wes tells Cole there are Rangers all over fighting. Hexagon was supposed to be the next season of Power Rangers that used the Ninja Storm suits. Hexagon was supposed to be an organization like the Avengers Base or the Pentagon if you're from America. Hexagon meaning the 6 Rangers on a team. At this point, there have only ever been 6 on a team. Tommy would have been the mentor or Captain Mitchell to the team, sending them on missions fighting all over the world. It was mentioned that they would have gone to KO-35, Miranoi, and Aquitar during the season. It would be wrapping up the storylines of forgotten villains like Scorpina, Prince Gasket, and Lokar. The Hurricane Rangers would have had their powers given to them through Ninjor. One idea shared about the show was that Joel from Lightspeed Rescue would have piloted them around the world. I would hope that means Miss Fairweather would be one of the people helping this organization develop new Ranger tech. And this would make sense why Tommy has a folder with information about Lightspeed Rescue. The Thunder Rangers would openly reject the idea of the Hexagon organization. In the original idea for Hexagon, they would have created the second All-American Power Ranger after the Titanium Ranger. They would have made the Navy Thunder Ranger a female and made a male dark yellow Thunder Ranger. Jason Lee Scott was intended to be their mentor, not so much as a commander, but as a friend they would go to for advice. Jason, being strongly against an organization of Power Rangers, was inspired by the way he came back to Zeo. He looked like he had been on the run from the law. Big coat and bandana hiding his face. He doesn't seem all that excited to see Zordon, and there isn't a huge welcome back from his former mentor. He's also pretty open about not wanting to be in charge. He tells Tommy he's not looking to be the leader. So it seems like maybe Jason had fallen out of the team of Rangers thing. Maybe this is due to his involvement with the Omega Rangers and being betrayed by a teammate. It's noted that in Forever Red he makes a comment about recognizing Wes and Eric. This could mean he wasn't a fan of the Silver Guardians, which is an organization with dangerous weapons available just like Hexagon. This was meant to be the main conflict. Tommy pushing for safety as Jason pushed for freedom. The two teams at times would team up to fight other threats, but through the season, former Rangers would take sides. The idea that this organization was too powerful versus we have to stick together. Remember, this was pre-MCU's Civil War. This would be like Marvel's superheroes picking sides with Iron Man or Captain America, but at the same time you would have Tommy's team be like a Daniel LaRusso acting holier than thou, and Jason, the Johnny Lawrence, striking hard and with no mercy, with a don't let anyone tell you what to do sort of mindset. This would have been like Cobra Kai before Cobra Kai. I can't even explain how exciting that would have been. Okay, so this is a mini theory within the idea of Hexagon. Ninjor created the powers for the Hurricane Rangers. I think that it would be really awesome if NinjaCon created the powers for the Thunder Rangers in order to balance out the two teams, make sure that one doesn't get too powerful. With NinjaCon being red and being with Jason, the original Red Ranger, I think that would be really cool. He does have the Wind Academy emblem on him, and maybe that would be something that he felt was his power to give to someone, so he's upset with Ninjor that he gave away this power that was really his. Just a little mini theory to throw NinjaCon into the live action world. Honestly, this was so advanced for its time, it could have changed the show in an unbelievable way, but that's not all. The Red Ranger mentored by Tommy was planned to be the son of the main villain, making an Astronema in reverse character, as well as a constant reminder of Tommy's evil origins. He would have a team member he tried to keep at bay, but was constantly fighting their own demons and nature to be evil. Now, the Green Ranger has two theories that are kicked around. One is that it's an undercover ranger who switches his helmet and shield depending on which team he is working with at the time, so he can keep his identity secret from each side. The other is that Tommy becomes the most powerful ranger ever and returns as a Green Ranger. This would eventually make him the main villain by the end of the show, Tommy trying to gain more and more power but breaking his own Hexagon rule of 6 Rangers to a team. The Rangers he helped mentor would realize he was too powerful and that the Hexagon organization could eventually bring too many people unimaginable power. They would eventually defeat him, making Tommy realize the errors of his ways. Hexagon would disband and the next season of Power Rangers would be free to go anywhere it wanted to. This idea was still being conceived when Power Rangers was sold to Disney. Amit wouldn't return to Power Rangers until Saban bought it back in 2011. Amit was a consultant on Power Rangers Samurai and a researcher for Power Rangers Megaforce. Maybe if they had kept him for Super Megaforce, the legendary battle would have been, legendary. I've seen Hexagon tossed around as an explanation of Rangers having their powers back, a la Forever Red, Justin's Turbo team up with Space, and the legendary battle. I actually have theories on how the Rangers have their powers back in Forever Red. I'll have a video on that so you can check it out later. But it's believed that Adam's morph in Space was not a coincidence. They believe it was a test that Hexagon was using to see if the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers could reconnect with the Morphin Grid. So what's this all mean? Well, I believe that Hexagon did happen. Maybe not in the full-blown way Amit had planned, but I think that Hexagon, or the idea of Hexagon, was more of a Star Trek or Stargate premise. A collection of former Zeo and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers led by Tommy travel the universe answering distress calls, finding worlds being attacked, but also meeting teams of Rangers who defend those worlds. These Rangers would be made from Sentai footage predating Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. The main question that Corey asked was, where did the rest of the Squadron suits go? So here is my theory on it. The Squadron Rangers are from the planet Eltar. The original team back 10,000 years ago consisted of 6 Rangers, the 6th being a White Ranger named Zordon. Eltarians believed in balance, which is why the Phantom Ranger was sent to Dakwar so that there were never too many Rangers at once. Zordon disagreed with this idea and kept in touch with the Phantom Ranger, sending him out on his own missions, such as the one to protect Lady Fianna and her daughter Rita. By the way, Ahmet also planned to reveal the Phantom Ranger's identity in Hexagon. The Phantom Ranger was to be used when the Ranger team was down a member. This could be why he didn't show up to the legendary battle. He only comes when it seems a team is overpowered. That's also why he would have assisted the Turbo Rangers since they were a team of 5. When Rita rose to power, Zordon went to Ninjor and asked him to create more power coins so that Eltar could be stronger. Ninjor granted Zordon's request, making 6 power coins. But this upset the rest of the Squadron Rangers. While they were deciding how to get rid of these coins, they were ambushed by Rita and her goons. Rita managed to steal one of the power coins before fleeing. The Squadron Rangers banished the other 5 coins across the galaxy. This would have been Zordon's hardship with the rest of the team. He was constantly looking for power. In his mind, he was doing it for all the right reasons, but the Squadron Rangers felt that his childish ambitions were too dangerous. Zordon knew he had to retrieve the power coins from Rita, so he set off to stop her. The other 5 power coins gravitated towards the one Rita possessed. Ninjor created a map that would show him the location of the power coins. Zordon found the power coins and continued to battle Rita on Earth. During this time, Zordon was constantly trying to gain more power as he was a one-man army. This power would be a double-edged sword. Because of his mistakes, Rita gained a powerful weapon such as the Dragon Zord and the Green Power Coin. But this power gave him the ability to defeat evil when his energy tube was broken by Andros. Now this, of course, is just a theory. There isn't a bunch of evidence showing that this is true, but I know a lot of fans would be upset that my theory involves Zordon making any sort of mistake. But there are some fan theories out there that Zordon is actually evil. Reason 1 is that he recruits teenagers because they are easy to manipulate and control. Zordon also keeps them in the dark about most things. When a new person shows up like Master Vile, or when Rita uses the Green Power Coin, the Rangers are dumbfounded when these things occur. So Zordon never fills them in on the history of Rita or anything like that. That could be misconstrued as him trying to control them. Knowledge is power. In World War II, the Nazis made towns and villages burn all their books. Somehow they convinced them that these things would tear them apart, but what they were really doing was lowering their ability to think for themselves. They wanted them to be unintelligent and have to rely on them for help, which kept them obedient. That's a very dramatic example to make, but it's true. I don't believe it's as simple as Zordon is evil. Zordon is trying to gain more power in a very greedy way, but in his mind it's altruistic. This would make Zordon an Anakin, Darth Vader character, but ultimately in the end he does save the universe. This could also be the reason Jason Lee Scott doesn't want to join Hexagon. He started to figure out that Zordon wasn't the perfect hero Tommy envisioned, and as he saw Tommy follow in Zordon's footsteps, he knew he had to counter it. This could have made a really cool backstory, and in the spirit of Amit's Hexagon idea, I think it would fit really well. Zordon mentors Gosei during the war with Rita and sends Gosei as a backup mentor if the world ever needs it. Gosei has access to these keys as Rangers come about. Why didn't they use these powers in Mighty Morphin? Maybe this was one of Zordon's first attempts at trying to be balanced, sending Gosei away to keep away the temptation of using those powers. This idea that Zordon wants more Rangers would fit with Tommy's goals as the Hexagon leader, and the ending of the more moderate version of Hexagon might be Tommy coming to Eltar chasing after a villain. He finds the Squadron Rangers and learns that they have passed down these powers over generations and generations. When Tommy tells them about Hexagon, they quickly decline. They say that this is a lesson once learned by the original White Ranger of Eltar. Tommy would learn about Zordon's mistake. This could have been what ultimately motivated Tommy to disband Hexagon. This would also be a poetic moment for Tommy. He finally gives up his ideals as he fights alongside them as their long-lost White Squadron Ranger, returning to his White Ranger form to represent his purity in his motivations. The Squadron Rangers also possess the power of thunder, just like Jason's team of Rangers back on Earth, symbolically showing that Tommy has rejoined the ideals of his former team leader. When you look at what Sentai footage is out there of team-ups, it would be an endless treasure trove of great crossovers. A crossover with the Squadron Rangers and Alien Rangers would be possible. The Turbo Ranger robots that were sent to Alpha's planet would be a perfect excuse to show the Zeo and Turbo team up. I have never gotten to watch Super Sentai, but just in the short amount of research I have discovered so many great team-ups that would have made some really epic Power Ranger episodes. There's a Super Sentai movie they could have used featuring the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Squadron Rangers, Alien Rangers, Supersonic, and the unnamed team from Jetman. Not only would fans love it, but this would have given Saban a lot of merchandise to sell. Taking one season of Power Rangers that could pull up to 15 seasons of Sentai footage, which would be about 75 new individual Ranger action figures, not to mention the Zords and weapons. So it's a little shocking to me that they didn't even try to do more of this, tie in more of the old Sentai seasons into the show, like they do bringing in the Alien Rangers for a short period of time. You would have thought Saban would have wanted to make a lot of money, but hey, whatever. Once again, Corey Place, thank you so much for asking for the video. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun looking into this subject, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know we went through a lot of stuff, and things just kept seeming to connect, and so it was really cool. So thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Bye.
You never let me say goodbye, You never let me get you out of my mind, Could I ever change your mind, or should I realize that you'll never be